Cool. So, we're gonna start out with just the fucking. Hi, how are ya?
It's good.
Great, awesome, fantastic.
League and stuff.
League and stuff. Welcome to League and stuff. Jesus, that's how far
What a
we've
name.
gone. That's probably about as good as it'll get. I mean, shitty title, shitty content, shitty production. Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
Man, my
League and
internet.
stuff.
Am I on the right fucking. Yeah, I am on the right internet. Why do I keep getting Discord notifications?
Oh.
I genuinely don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. League and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So league
So,
preseason.
League preseason. I feel like you have to do like personality introductions first. Like you can't just go like straight into
Oh.
content. Like you gotta like
Just a support.
it's just a support.
I'm just here.
Yeah, so this is League and stuff. I'm on an island. I live in the top lane, and you're just a support.
But support is so easy.
Support is so easy. Top lane is stupid because I can never get any ganks.
I can feed, never get an ADC.
Junglers and supports
fun.
everywhere. Go top. Just once. One time. That's all it takes. Snowball.
I'll go top.
I've never seen it happen.
Oh, look at your notes. Matt back to TLA. I didn't know I was on TLA.
Congratulations, you're back on the Academy team.
Nice.
Matt did go to Team Liquid
At
Academy.
least I get a ring. I like that guy.
Yeah. He was good.
But then again, Core JJ is a god.
Yeah, we can. Oh.
So yeah, do we kind of want to just go down the line of like our preseason power rankings and kind of
Yeah. We could absolutely do that.
explain our thought process there,
Absolutely. Would you?
like why we that?
Yeah, by all means, you could do that. So if I mean, we can go, A and B back and forth of,
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
1 and 1, and then reasons behind such. So
Yeah.
if you would love to start out with your number one team, who you got?
Oh, I mean, Team Liquid by far. Had a hell of a year last year. Almost made it to finals, Worlds. Pretty impressive. Um, but I honestly feel like they got even better. You could tell that Ole and Doublelift didn't mesh completely well.
Right.
And somehow they were able to get Core JJ, and that is awesome. He was in NA, and then in Korea, and then back. But he's a hell of a player. And then who pick up Jensen is huge. I would have never expected that move until it happened. And after watching week 1, this team it's a powerhouse.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like, no one would expect Team Liquid, the best team in North America, who's already made such huge progress into, North America and Worlds, like the meme that used to be.
Right.
No one would have expected them to be able to sign someone like Jensen, who was the, central focal point behind Cloud9 outside of Sneaky, because Sneaky is just Sneaky. It just happens that way. But for them to be able to give up Pobelter and sign on Jensen and just create even more of a powerful roster on top of getting someone like Core JJ, who's just leagues above anybody in his position in North America. It's just, yeah, I don't know how Liquid did it. Paid by Steve. I don't know how they did it.
Pretty much.
But
Pretty
good
much.
God, there's no doubt whatsoever that Team Liquid would be a preseason and an early favorite for North America to qualify again for Worlds to go to MSI. I mean, Double Lift has said it. Like he's already looking at the international stage. He already wants to go to MSI. He wants to go to Worlds. I mean, obviously he says, you got to win here first in North America. But the way they're looking right now, their offseason moves, the way they looked last year, it should not be an issue for Liquid whatsoever.
Right. And like even Double said, it's like, if there were any powerhouse teams in the past, it's 2016 TSM, where they should have gone to finals. It's like, everybody's moved on from that. It's 2019 Team Liquid. Like, it's time to shine. Kind of a do or die for everyone, really, for NA. But that team has the potential.
They're definitely a team that a lot of
people...
people...
By all means, I hope they do it.
Yeah. The team that a lot of people in North America could put their faith into come that time, because when we get to that point, everyone, now, is going to align themselves with their own fandoms, their own teams that they want to support locally. But when it gets to that time, it's going to be just 2 or 3 teams out of North America that are representing us, and Team Liquid, it would be surprising not to see them up there.
Yep.
So who do you think behind Liquid would be your second team that would come out of the spring split?
Well, honestly, preseason-wise, just looking at players and such, I put FlyQuest.
An interesting choice.
Yeah. But, you know what? I'm kind of liking the way I did it, because after watching, week 1, just the, notes, watching their first 2 games, the powerhouse of Santorin, Belter, and Wild Turtle is amazing. I honestly don't know anything about JJ or Viper, but those 3 have the communication and just, I don't know, veteran knowledge to lead all 5 of them. They look really solid. They play really well as a team.
They really do. I wouldn't have given FlyQuest my number 2 slot explicitly coming out of last season's happenings. I would have thought that my number 2 power rank team I put up there would be 100 Thieves, based off of what happened last year. 100 Thieves really surprised a lot of people with how well they did.
They did.
They were almost like the Las Vegas Golden Knights of the League of Legends, because it was like, why is this team who has just formulated, just spawned out of nowhere, brought on by some washed-up Call of Duty quick-scoper, like, out of absolute left field, now in the LCS and running the table, honestly. The only competition they had would be Liquid, which, behind that roster, of course it's going to be Team Liquid, but with 100 Thieves and what they did last year, I put them at my second spot, because it was just, I would only expect them to continue to do what they did. Results are showing they didn't quite do that, but it's I can see why FlyQuest would be up there. I don't know, I know little to nothing of JJ himself. But
me neither.
Wild Turtle, a name that hasn't been spoken of in years, honestly.
Is back.
He's kind of just he's kind of been on the wayside. He's still around, he's still relevant, but he hasn't really made a name for himself like he used to back in the days of the CLG TSM rivalry, where it was Double Lift and Wild Turtle and always head to head. Well, Double Lift's taking the throne. Wild Turtle's just on the wayside now, but FlyQuest has put together a really good roster around what they have, and like you said, Santorin and Pobelter. Pobelter's got the experience as it is, as does Wild Turtle.
Yeah.
But Santorin's got a really good controlling mentality and game style.
He's like he's not like the leader, but he's a leader in his own aspect. Like, obviously, Pobelter is going to be your shot caller. Got so much experience.
Right.
And Wild Turtle, knows what he's doing and knows what's going on around him. But Santorin is able to fill in the gap, kind of in between 3 of them, and just, step in and not have to hesitate or question anything. Just step in and do what's needed.
I didn't give FlyQuest enough credit. I put them at my number 6 slot on my preseason ranks, and then after week 1, I bumped them up a couple to number 4. but I think they have a high ceiling to where they can go. With their addition of Viper, who came from Liquid's Academy, really all they did with Viper in week 1 was just put him on a champion. It was either you're going to carry from this spot or you're just going to survive. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't feed, he didn't, really do anything to be a game breaker or be a liability in the top lane. He held his own, which again, who'd they play this weekend? Optic and Golden Guardians. Really not the best of the best of top laner competitions, but he held his own. He did well enough that allowed the rest of his team to really do what they need to do. And as the season progresses, I think Viper's only going to get better. And for his rookie debut, I think they've got a high ceiling for success.
Yep, absolutely.
Forever third. It's not Curse. We can't do that anymore.
Yep.
I had Cloud9 at third for the same reason. I just 1, 2, 3 out of Worlds last year. Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9.
Yep.
Because Cloud9 is, Jack can do anything. If he can make something happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jack's another one of those paid by Steve people where he can just make stuff happen.
I can see that too, but I think that Jensen made that team.
Jensen did do a lot
few years.
to that team.
Sneaky's a great player and he's got a lot of experience, but there's nothing around him anymore. Yeah.
Zazal made a pretty good impact, a pretty good showing for himself at Worlds. Licorice he's pretty much taken the crown of the top lane for North America, it seems. As of Worlds last year, he had. Svenskeren, he's kind of a hit or miss based on his history. And then with the addition of Niski, who's had a decent success off and on between North America to EU and then back to North America, he's another one of those people that's kind of like Viper. He's got some readjusting to do to where he is now, but I think Niski, especially based off of week 1's performance, Niski's certainly got a lot of potential to make an impact on the mid lane.
Yep. See, you had C9 third, I had TSM third. Obviously I'm a little biased there, but
a little bit. Okay.
I was sad to see Hanser go, but with the hype behind Broken Blade and watching him play these first 2 games, I'm really excited for that. The young kid, he's got a lot of self-knowledge to the game, and I'm sure all the vets on the team will help him out there, and they'll learn a lot. Their jungle situation, kind of odd, but Acadian's already kind of a vet there, filling in that gap too. And between those two, I think they did a really good job this past weekend. Obviously, Beardson is a god.
He needs to shave. Jesus.
Getting Mithy away from Sven is an upgrade. I was a little wary about the Smoothie pickup. I think it'll be good for him and good for the team. He definitely did his job solely just, protecting the DC. Making the plays when he needed to. But I think that this team kind of meshes well with kind of how they used to be as a powerhouse. Obviously, it'll take time to get them to that aspect, but just in play style and how they should mesh together, I think they'll mesh pretty well.
TSM really hasn't had a lot of success like they used to, where they were always first or second, as it was. A good transitional point that I put TSM at my number 4 on the preseason slot because of the inherent factor that is Bjergsen. The man is the legend of mid lane in North America right now. Acadian's made his name known around the LCS in the last couple years. Smoothie as well. Smoothie is actually, I think a Smoothie was a decent pickup. The biggest and best addition I think they made was Sven. Mithy was, I don't. He was there. He was there.
Yep. It was just.
But Broken Blade, I think, is going to be the emphasis of this team. I mean, Bjergsen's already doing well. Sven has done phenomenal on wherever he's gone. But I think Broken Blade is really going to be the make or break for TSM this year. He's got his successes that he had over in the Turkish league, and his stat lines that he posts are absurd. And the way he played this weekend, I kind of expected him to be put in the same role as Viper, where all they did was kind of say, hey, don't feed, don't int, just hold your own, do your thing, put him on a tanky champion, because that's all that this meta apparently is. Season 3 flashbacks. But he somehow they left Aatrox open, and he got on Aatrox and just demolished Huni. Of all people. Huni, he just destroyed him.
The kid just came from SKT and got wrecked by like an 18-year-old kid from Turkey.
So I think Broken Blade is really going to be a make or break for TSM this year, and he's already done pretty well. TSM only starting 1-1. They've got a ways to go as far as their team progression, but I think they're making a lot of really good steps in the right direction.
Yep. You had them at 4th.
I did.
4th place for myself, I had 100 Thieves. And honestly, I probably could have gone the same way you did, up a little higher. The addition of Bang it blew my mind that Bang was leaving SKT and coming to NA. And having him with probably the best support in NA support anyway.
Right, home team support.
American support, if you believe it. Sorry, Core JJ, you're still a god.
He is.
But the two of them is awesome. I'm excited for those matchups once they kind of mesh, get to know each other. Someday's always a really good top laner. And they brought in Huhi, which I don't know. I didn't really watch a whole lot of CLG games with Huhi. I know he played really well when he first started. After this weekend, maybe not so much.
Not so much.
But you know what? Things happen. He's learning. He's getting accustomed to a new team. So things happen. But I think they still have good potential to follow through with what they had last year. Once they kind of get into the hang of things.
I think a big part of what 100 Thieves needs to do, as far as who they are, is an interview with Aframu. He said that it's a lot better playing with Bang because he's a lot more experienced and disciplined in lane, and he's won 2 world championships, so it makes sense as to why he would be that way. But there's of course language barrier between them. He said they were working a lot on trying to figure out different words that mean one or the other, what they want to say when they want to do this or that or the other. So they're just trying to work on their communication for themselves, and I feel like once that comes around, 100 Thieves will be a lot better because for God's sakes, it's Bang.
Yep.
You can't rule out Bang. The addition of Huhi was a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah.
I understand they had a slot to fill, and Aframu, it was as simple as Aframu just asking, "Hey, what if?" And then the 100 Thieves team made it happen.
Jake.
Like, all right, well, we'll sign him. Sounds good.
Yeah.
After Ryu had retired, or not really retired, but moved, he didn't have to be playing anymore. So it allowed that opening where who he can move into, where he's already got a decent synergy with Afro. They played it, they duo together all the time, and they hang out all the time. So they're always A and B there, and Huhi was known for his level 2 Aurelian Soul roams to bot lane. So now they can just trade roams between bot and mid, between Huhi and Afro. So I think that'll work out pretty well, but it
Yeah.
they got barriers to overcome first.
Yeah, that language barrier. I was watching Aframu's YouTube page, and he was obviously duoing with Bang, getting used to someone, or getting used to each other. And I don't remember who was on the other team, but Aframu just said, "I'm gonna fuck him up," and Bang turned his head, and he's like, "What?" And Aframu just starts laughing. He's like, "What? I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna kick his ass." And Bang just thought Aframu was trying to say he was going to fuck him. Just straight up fuck him.
Yep. Well,
And it was a 5-minute like explanation of Aframu saying, "No, like we're gonna kick his ass." And he's like, "Oh."
oh,
It was some comedy, but yeah. Just watching that means they're meshing well together.
they're getting there. Yeah, it is a really good environment based off of a lot of the stuff I've seen from Nadeshot and everything they're doing with the team. There's a great family environment that they're setting up, and there's a great environment in general just for them to be themselves, to be whatever they need to get what they got to get done. And they have a good infrastructure. Nadeshot's really done very well in setting up his infrastructure there for 100 Thieves to succeed.
Yep. So that was
4.
5.
You told me that you put Optic
Oh,
at
the
4,
5.
which means you
Oh, I
lied
did.
to me.
I did lie. Whoops. Oh well. It counts. I don't know anything
Close
about
enough.
Optic.
So Optic, I put them at my number 5 slot.
Yeah.
They have-
Which I could put that. I honestly could switch that.
Optic they've made a handful of changes, and I have no idea what's going on with their team.
Yeah, I don't even know who their players are.
They have basically they've got the capability to do what a couple of the other teams have done in a 10-man roster,
Yeah.
which is basically almost what they did in week 1, where they took 4 of their starters and swapped them out.
Yep.
It's like, okay. Which is semi-problematic for the fact that there's capabilities of just really weird synergy between the team.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously,
after what, game 1, Dardoch was like, "Yeah, that was the 3rd game I've ever played with Crown."
Yeah,
Like, that probably shouldn't happen in LCS.
probably not, but
But,
Crown's
you
a
know
good
what?
enough player
Yes.
that it can make up for that. I mean,
And depending on kind of who they can keep around, I think Meteos is starter, or honestly even Dardoch. Either two of them will play really well with Crown.
Meteos is the
once
listed starter.
Once Arrow can get in and practice with the team, that'll be huge for them.
Right.
And honestly, it's kind of the same mindset that FlyQuest has. Like, if you have those 3 solidify together, it doesn't matter who you have, top or support. 'Cause honestly, even with just Crown and Arrow, they'll be able to just wreak havoc themselves.
It's kind of a scary combination. There's a lot of playmaking capability they have between their ADC and the mid laner. Their international success can't be understated. I mean, Crown's got a world championship, so...
Is Big really their support?
You know, now that I look at it, I really don't know. I don't know.
I hope not.
I don't know what's going on with their team anymore.
He drives me nuts.
After they
Sounds
made...
like a 3-year-old woman.
3-year-old woman. After
Yes.
they made their academy swap for Arrow with Asta, they decided to swap out Gate as well because they already have the bot lane synergy.
Yep.
And then from there, they just decided, well, we've already got that synergy bot lane, so why don't we just put in the top and the jungle as well from
Yep.
the academy? So it's virtually the academy team plus Crown that
That's
played
fine.
this weekend, and it
Played
worked.
pretty well.
It worked. The Alorum did exceptionally well in game 1. Granted, he played against CLG. Take from that what you will, but
Yeah.
they made it work. somehow.
Next.
Which I think is going to be basically how the rest of their season goes. Is they're going to make it work somehow, and they're going to be in the middle of the pack virtually the whole season, somewhere between 4th and 7th. I don't see them doing a lot to threaten the top of the league.
No.
But I think
Not until they solidify themselves.
I think they're going to be able to do at least something once Arrow gets around and with Crown. They'll be able to go mostly 1-1s, maybe a couple 2-0s, rarely an 0-2, just depending on their schedule, on who they play that weekend. But I think they'll split a lot of games, really. And then comes who I had 6th. I had FlyQuest.
Yeah.
I didn't give him enough credit, like I said. I probably put him a little too low, but
I had C9, so.
And I put them up at my 3rd slot.
So,
But
kind of wishy-washy, but it's just kind of, that's just how opinions fall, really, in lack of knowledge, or even more so knowledge aspect of just kind of paying attention to last year and comparing to these other players that have come in from other leagues that you don't really know about.
FlyQuest, like I said, I think they have good potential. Cloud9 does as well. You know, with the rookie players coming in, FlyQuest with Viper, and then Cloud9. I mean, they're not really rookies. Viper is. But with Niski and Cloud9, they've got a lot to do. They've got a lot of ground to make up in their new roles and new teams. But I think both of them can make significant impacts on what they do. And I think FlyQuest made a lot of upgrades in the offseason as to their roster itself. But it'll be interesting to where they end up. I think they're already on the up and up just after 1 week of play. Cloud9 is probably in the same spot where they're also up and up.
Yep.
But it's still too early to be able to tell one or the other, to differentiate the middle of the pack, because even though FlyQuest did 2-0, they're not really super...
Not top tier.
Right. I mean,
Not yet, anyway.
all they did was Optic and Golden Guardians, which are two decently okay teams. Optic Academy, really, and Golden Guardians, who is just doing the best they can. Then I put Echo Fox in my 7th slot.
Yep.
And you did too.
Sure did.
And I think they've got decent potential. By Echo Fox, I mean Clutch Gaming 2.0. 2019 Clutch Gaming, because 3/5 of that team is Clutch.
Yep. I think their bot lane has always played well together.
Yep. Apollo
and Hakuo are pretty solid. Like, they know how each other work.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will about Rush coming in.
Yeah.
My opinion is not a fan. I think he did okay when he was here a few years ago playing for C9.
Yep.
Honestly, didn't pay attention to him when he went to Korea.
Yeah.
But after he became a streamer, I kind of stopped paying attention because it kind of felt like a publicity stunt.
A little bit.
And some people don't like Phoenix. I loved watching Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is really good.
Yeah.
I can when people just say Phoenix, I just immediately have the flashback of CLG diving Phoenix under the tier 1 bot tower, and it's
rip.
I think he was playing Azir, and he ended up with a 1v3 triple or a quadra-kill or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but I tried to erase that as a CLG fan. I just tried to block that from my memory because I remember watching it and just thinking, no, this is bad. Stop. And sure enough, everyone died, and Phoenix came out on top, and that made the front page of Reddit. And, well, I think Phoenix is pretty good. I think he's got a lot of capability.
Yeah.
Azir's not really in the meta anymore, and he was super good on Azir back then when he played. But I think he can hold his own. He's not on the level of people like Bjergsen or Jensen in the mid lane, but I'd put him somewhere 4th or 5th best mid laner that we have here.
Yep.
for now. I mean, of North America. I mean, we also have Crown in on that conversation, which is not really a fair comparison, but I digress. We both put, after Echo Fox, we both put Clutch Gaming, which was a mistake.
Yep. Apparently so.
Apparently so. Good lord, who would have thought? And they really
Yeah.
they didn't even really change that much. They just got a new
No.
mid laner and a new top laner.
Which they both came to.
Yep.
So
So that was just the Echo Fox Clutch Gaming swap
yeah,
that just
you know,
happened.
it could just be kind of they meshed really well from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's always been teams that start well and then fall off because they can't
Right.
stay with the meta or stay with patch or stuff like that. So that would be interesting, kind of a sleeper team to watch.
I really think Clutch is going to end up top
See.
3 in North America.
Yep.
I really do. I put them
Yep.
So low because I just didn't expect much from.
Yep.
Like, I haven't heard a lot from Clutch Gaming in the past. I mean, last year they made the playoffs of the spring split and they got 4th place. They were 3-0'd by Echo Fox. But they were kind of middle of the pack. They went 11-7 in the spring. They went 6-12 in the summer. They really didn't do a whole lot to make a name for themselves, to be super notorious. So, bottom of the pack is really where it kind of would expect them to be. But after week 1, they were playing from behind in their second match, but they just systematically managed to come back from wherever they were. And TSM started that game really well. And then
Yep.
DeMonte, who played Akali that game,
Yep.
was
That
ridiculous.
was in my notes of why is Akali 6-0 out of nowhere.
Yeah. DeMonte played his mind off in that game. Like, it was absurd as to how well he was playing in that game. He didn't do anything, and a lot of the problem, I think, with that game was the team compositions. We can get into that later. But I think a lot of that problem was the team composition of TSM and
Yep.
the way they played around that. But from the performances that DeMonte gave between those two games, I think DeMonte is really going to do very well where he is now. And I
Yep.
think Clutch Gaming is going to make a very strong run for top 3 in North America. Which puts us at the
Yep.
bottom of the barrel, where our last 4 teams were all the same. We had Fox, Clutch, CLG, and Golden Guardians.
Yep.
CLG is just a hot
CLG is
mess.
just, oh,
It's a hot mess, which it hurts.
I was telling you earlier, like, I don't know how many countless times in watching both of their games where I was just like, what are they doing?
What is happening?
They have no communication. They don't have a plan. Can't follow up on anything if somebody makes a pick or whatever. They just, I don't know what is going on. And honestly, like, they have decent players. All played for quite a while, at least the 3 of them.
Right.
Power of Evil is a hell of a mid laner. And whoever Wiggly is, I mean, I'm sure he has experience with the other 3 guys. I don't know.
CLG is one of the teams that they have incorporated their 10-man roster so that at any given time they can swap out. They said after their week 1, the fact that they swapped out for their top and a jungle was because they were just, it was kind of a trial run, if you will. The Coach Weldon had stated that it was we're going to see how this goes, which is really just hearing from CLG that we really don't know who our best team is right now, but we're going to figure it out. And he also said a lot of the problems that they were having in scrims were the same problems that were prevalent on stage, which is good for them. It bodes well for them because they know what their problems are as to where they're coming from, and it's a consistent problem. There's nothing new popping up that all of a sudden is just blindsiding them when they play on stage. But I feel like waiting until week 1 of the LCS isn't where you should be doing a trial run of I wonder what my best team is.
Yeah.
And it did not work. They had decent early games, and Biofrost said himself that they have a good early game, but then once they get to mid game, it's kind of chaos.
Just fall apart.
They really don't know what's going on, and that's where teams take advantage of them, and they don't know what's going on. I mean,
Part of me wonders kind of what, like, the direction for them. Like with Weldon being their head coach. I know he's floated between teams kind of being like their, I don't remember what they call it, just kind of a mental head coach.
right.
Not necessarily League of Legends head coach. Like now he's their League of Legends head coach. So that, I don't know. I didn't know it took him a long time to kind of learn League, and especially with TSM and everything, but that makes me wonder.
I mean, he brought in a really good coach from Korea, and Irene, who's the strategist coach, and
Yep.
They certainly have a lot of good. They have a good coaching staff to make a better team out of what really didn't do so great last year. They were pretty much middle to the bottom of the pack. They were the best of the worst last year, which is not giving them a whole lot of credit. So it's virtually all they can do is go up from here, especially after week 1, because they're bottom of the list for me. But they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work cut out for them. They really need to figure out what's going on in their roster, but they have capabilities. Biofrost has always been a good support. Stixay, he can hold his own. He's kind of hit or miss, depends on who he's on, what he's on. This meta's a lot of an AD carry meta where it's dependent upon them, but it's really, we've only really seen like 2, maybe 3 ADCs come out in pro play between Lucian and Kaisa and who's the third one? I can't forget. That's
Sivir.
Sivir's made an appearance. Ezreal, that's the one.
Ezreal, yep.
Ezreal with his new W is just a monster.
Yep.
And a huge power pick because he can just push down towers and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke.
Yep.
And it's just not. I don't think the champion pool meta favors Stixay very well right now, but I think they've got.
Because it's not Tristana.
Right, pretty much.
Yep.
I think once the LCS kind of figures out the best meta, the better players, the better champions to pick, because it was basically the same 15 to 20 champions that were appearing in picks bans every single game.
Yep.
And there's a huge pool of champions that just no one's playing or no one's deciding to play. And I feel like someone is going to be the player that finds some really good champion with some crazy item build or some crazy rune page, and it's just going to blow up the priority picks and bans of LCS, because right now it's all the same. It's always tanky top laner or Victor, and then or they put the tanky top laner into mid lane where it's just Scion or Urgot, and then they have an APC kind of character that either goes wherever the tank isn't, and then it's either Lucian or Ezreal bottom with a tank support.
Yep.
And a bruiser jungler. That's it. That's the meta. It's just there's one carry in a solo lane who's going to split. There's a carry in the bot lane, and then they're going to 1-3-1.
Yep.
By the end of the game. That's it. That's the meta. And it sucks. I hate it. That's my opinion. I hate this meta. It's so boring.
I agree. And then there was Golden Guardians.
Who?
Golden Guardians. And I feel so bad. Like, Haunter's a great top laner.
They have a roster of good players.
A great roster. But fuck they can't play together if it were to save their
Oh
lives.
no, it's
Just,
rough.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'd have to like hear a bit of comms just to like hear what they're trying to plan. You know, if it's I don't know, Ole not understanding them, or them not understanding Froggen, or Froggen saying too much at once. I feel like that's known to happen a few times. Or maybe he's a little washed up after taking a year off. I don't know.
It really is a perplexing thought of Golden Guardians being, who they are, where they are, because that looking face value, that roster is a good roster.
Yep.
Those are all players that have made and had success on prior teams.
Yep.
And here they are. Quite literally, preseason bottom of the barrel. After week 1, I moved them up because I don't think CLG's going to get any worse.
No. Yeah, I moved them up. I mean, they had a few times where they shined, but they just...
Yeah, and they had,
couldn't do it.
a lot. I think there's a lot of question marks, and this goes for both CLG and Golden Guardians, in the sense that they have a decent team composition, they have decent players, decent laners, but then once it hits a certain threshold in game, whoever's shot calling just does not do that.
Yep.
And then from there, it just all falls apart. It crumbles. And I feel like once both of those teams figure out who that's going to be and their priorities of what they want to focus on between team fights, objectives, or rotations, or any of that stuff, I feel like once they figure that out, they can do a lot better. But right now, they're still trying to figure out their identity and what they're going to do, and it's not working after week 1, which it's still early, but for what I saw in week 1, it's not working for either team.
Yeah, they'll probably be stuck at bottom of the barrel for a while until they figure out what's going on and how to fix themselves. Which, I mean, it's a brand new team for them, so
Pretty much.
everything takes time to figure out each other's strengths and what needs fixed.
I mean,
They'll progress from there.
all I even said that he does feel more comfortable where he is, because the way it used to be, the dynamic when he played under Doublelift was that Doublelift, he gave credit to Doublelift that he's one of the smartest AD carries that he's ever played with, and it's really weird to see how Doublelift thinks in gameplay and different approaches that he has to team fights, but and he's trying to do that with Deftly. He's kind of taken on the more mentor role with Deftly and trying to give him the guidance of this is the way that it would be done, that it could be done, the way that he's almost a miniature Doublelift at this point, where he's just taken on this is what Doublelift would do at this point, and that's not a bad person to model yourself after,
Right.
because Doublelift is the best AD carry in North America.
Yep.
Sorry, Bang, but Doublelift's
Yep.
the best. Everyone else is trash. But all I said, he feels more comfortable where he is. He has the capability now to be more of an impactful person in the roster. And after last year's season, where they were last place, both splits, it can only get better from there. And that's a good mentality to have. I mean, there's no harm in trying something if you've got nothing to lose.
Yep. And without a fashion, going down the line, you have your top 3 to 4 that will stay top 3 to 4 the entire split.
More or less.
You've got your middle of the pack, and then you've got your 3 teams that will just suck the entire year.
Yep.
And it is what it is, but
It's a good 3-4-3 split, where there's always 3 teams that are battling. There's always 4 in the middle. And then, like you said, the bottom 3 that are just... They're
CLG
there.
and
They're
last.
They're trying to figure out what
suck.
they're doing. And right now, CLG and Golden Guardians are those 2 prevalent teams that they're going to be at the bottom of the list this year so far. And I think Liquid is just gonna stay number one. I don't think anyone's gonna be able to
Yep.
contest
I don't
Liquid.
think anyone's gonna contest Liquid
It's
at all.
a race for second, really. And I think that it's gonna be more favored towards teams that adapt well, and teams that have a better synergy as it is. And I think teams like, I want to give Clutch a spot. I really do think, like I said, I think Clutch is going to make a run for the top three. Beyond that, FlyQuest has apparently a really good roster, and they could easily make themselves up there as well. It's too early really to tell. Cloud9 is always Cloud9. They pull something out every time, and I think Niski's got a lot of potential to carry them where they are. This is the way too early playoff predictions, by the way. Something I am notorious for.
Well, that only took forever.
Only. And that was the introduction.
Get through 10 teams. Nap time yet?
What do you mean it's nap time yet?
Yeah. Time.
Is it nap time yet?
Okay, close. You know, read.
It is close. So based off of what we've seen between preseason week 1 expectations, we already know pretty much who's done what. I think after week 1, I might be on a Clutch Gaming bandwagon right now. I really might. I don't know. I can't say that, but I think that from what happened, DeMonte, I think I would give DeMonte my MVP after that week, because he held his own. He did what he needed to do. He popped off both games. He went 5-0-5, 6-0-3 in both games. And he was the reason that they ended up winning that game against TSM. Was he capitalized on some mistakes by TSM, but he allowed himself to get there through his gold farming and all that stuff.
Yep.
But
Yeah, he played well.
the biggest things I took from week 1, Cloud9, Counter Logic and Golden Guardians are bad. And
Yep.
Bjergsen, I love you, but for God's sakes, trim your beard. It's a little much. A little much. Just
The Zilster. Oh,
bring it back.
the only thing I have about week 1 was thank you, casters, for the X special shout out. My dude. Oh yeah.
I missed that. Where was that at?
It was the 100 Thieves TSM game. Smoothie used his redemption to almost get a kill.
Oh, when
And,
he was
like,
running back to Fountain.
4 years ago, X special stopped it back and they won the game.
I do remember
He's
that.
a god.
Rest in peace, X Special.
Oh yeah. Oh man, he's the head coach now.
Well,
Of a college team.
yeah, but
It's cool.
yeah, but but no.
Rip.
I still think
What else? My note.
Broken
Fucking
Blade
Karthus.
is a really good person to watch. I think Broken Blade's got a lot of potential in what he's doing this season, as does Niski. Both of those players, I think, are going to be able to do a lot of really good things where they are. They're already going into teams with really good rosters, and I think they have a lot of capability and potential to be up there on their solo carry list. Fucking Karthus. What about Karthus?
Karthus jungle. I don't get it. Stupid.
Strategically die, as the
Yeah.
casters put it. You got to make
Rush
sure
is
you die in the
stupid.
right place. It is dumb. But, I mean, Dark Harvest Karthus at that point is just... You're automatically scaling damage, and you're not even doing anything. So it's... Well, alright, great. I still think it's dumb. I don't like the concept of Karthus in general, of run it down, press Q a few times, and then before you die, press R.
Core JJ baby. My notes in all caps.
Poor JJ.
Core JJ baby.
Classic.
He had a mean game as Rakan in CLG. It was nasty.
It
It was disgusting.
That was day 2. I gave Core JJ
Yes.
the MVP of that game.
Yeah, he killed everyone. It was awesome.
He had outstanding CC engages. He had 2 really good shields onto Jensen and Xmithy to save their lives.
Yep.
Jensen was ignited, and Core JJ shielded him. And then he saved Xmithy after... The game was well and done. Xmithy was just tower diving Lucian, and then took about 6 tower shots after he queued a minion instead of Lucian. But, yeah, I gave Core JJ the MVP of that game. He did absurdly well. And that's a thing that even Doublelift will give credit to, in the sense that he said Core JJ is the greatest support he's ever played with. It's like he doesn't, no offense to any others that he's played with, but Core JJ is the best.
Yep.
And it's good for Doublelift, and it's good for Core JJ
I think
as
he
well.
needs that. Yep.
Because Core JJ is around a really good roster where he's capable of, making minor mistakes, but now he's in a position that he can shot call, and he doesn't have to worry about other teammates, really anting or doing anything stupid. And it's a really good environment from what I've gathered from interviews of Team Liquid helping out Core JJ integrate himself into the team. But it's even better for Doublelift, because Doublelift is usually the person that's had to shot call and had to make these decisions and will, decide if he's going to engage or disengage. But now he doesn't have to do that with Core JJ at his side, because that's the greatest import support we've got, the greatest support in the league now. And Doublelift just has to worry about himself. He can just auto attack, use his abilities, survive, and win fights.
Buttons.
That's
Kill
all he has to
sneaky in
do.
lane.
Yeah, solo kill sneaky in lane. That was bad.
Yes, it was.
Sneaky's bad, and he should feel bad.
Yep.
With Liquid, though, coming up next week, they've got 2 of the toughest games, which you thought this week would be. I think next week is going to be their toughest schedule, where they play 100 Thieves and Clutch Gaming. And
Yep. Good.
the old
You're
matchup of Doublelift and Afro Moo with Core JJ and Bang, the imports at their sides.
Yeah, that'd be a fun bot lane to watch.
I really hope that Afro and Bang are able to get themselves together for that, because if not, like this week, I think it'll be a setup for even better in the future. And you're going to get really mad at me for making this comparison. But I think that if it doesn't work in this one, kind of like New England and Kansas City, in the first game, it was a real shit show. And it was just back and forth scoring. But once it got around to the second game, where the Chiefs really knew who they were, and they made it even better than the first one. So I'm hoping that this is a good matchup. But if Afro and Bang don't have that synergy that they need, I think the next time these two teams play each other, it'll be even better. And I think that I'm hoping that 100 Thieves are back towards the top of the standings at that point, so that game will really mean something.
Liquid's gonna win, and that one team fires their coach. Profit.
Is
I
that
hate my life.
is it too soon?
Yes.
Hey, the Super Bowl's in a day and a half.
Yep. Close enough.
While that is the best bot lane matchup, I don't even give that the game of the week. I give the game of the week to the Team Liquid second game between Liquid and Clutch, because I think that's going to be the one that decides if Clutch is for real. Because if they win that game,
That's true.
if they win that game, then Clutch is a definitive contender, not only just for top 3, but for first place. Or if they just happen to get lucky in week 1, maybe they did. But it's a good matchup in the bot lane in that game as well between what's like Liquid, Team Liquid, their ADC.
Doublelift.
Jesus, I just lost everything out of my head. And Core JJ against Piglet and Vulcan. And Piglet's
Yeah.
Piglet.
That'd be
He's
solid.
he's done well, so it'll be a decent matchup itself. I think the favor already goes over towards Liquid though, just because of who they are. But at the same time, you've got on the opposite side someone like Hooney who can 1v9 if he needs to. Depending on who they put him on. We saw his Rumble game, and he did the most damage in that entire game,
Yep.
and was absurd, especially against someone like a Scion or an Urgot, where it's just they build tank, Black Cleaver, or Hex Drinker, or whatever they have to do. They're going to build tank, and then Hooney can just melt through them. So Hooney's got a real chance to 1v9 that game. DeMonte's got a good chance of going against Jensen to make an even bigger impact than what he's done already. I think that's going to be probably the best game of next week, which is this weekend, tomorrow.
Today.
Well, not quite.
It's 1:40.
It is 11:40.
It's nap time.
It's almost nap time.
Pop,
I think
pop, pop.
I think there's a lot going on of teams figuring out what's going on.
Yes.
And it's still awfully early, but
Cough, cough. Why the fuck did Acadian play full AP Gragas?
well, you see, what had happened was
It was a waste.
he's a big dumb dummy.
Yeah.
So, based off of what we've had, Liquid is obviously the number one team that we've got.
Yes.
Into this season, 1, 2, 3, 4. Way too early. Top 4 prediction. Who you got?
Ooh. Probably Liquid.
Okay.
I don't know who to root for. Can't root for anyone. This is unbiased.
Supposed to be.
Or shit. Tab. Still looking at the wrong tab. There we go. I'm still gonna go FlyQuest.
Okay.
Then probably 100 Thieves and TSM.
So you're going to give benefit of the doubt to 100 Thieves that Bang and Aframu are going to...
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I would love to do so as well. I really do. I think that Bang is the next best thing that North America's got right now in ADC.
Except he's 100 years old.
Except he's 100 years old. But, he's still a really good player.
Yes, he is.
And I'd like to see a good matchup between Double Lift and Bang. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. It's almost going to be I want it to be as good as the Wild Turtle Double Lift days, where it was just, they just trash talk each other, and they just, put their hearts onto the Rift and just go at it. I don't think it's going to happen yet, but I really want it to.
Hella.
So, that's your top 4. You said Liquid, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, and who?
TSM.
TSM. It's an interesting...
Have faith.
I mean, well,
I don't have faith in everybody else.
you're biased, so...
I am biased,
You're
but
biased
I
to
still
have
don't have
faith.
faith in everybody else.
You know what? I have faith. I have faith CLG's going to come back. We're making the playoffs this year.
Go for it.
I
You
wish.
can have faith all you want.
It's the faith age for the
Be there
4th
when
year in
you
a row.
lose.
4 years of faith age. We're getting there. One of these days. Not anytime soon. I think it's, without a doubt, Liquid's going to be up top. I think 100 Thieves have good potential to make themselves a top 4 candidate. Statistically speaking, a team that starts 0-2 has a 35% chance to make the playoffs. So they certainly got the work cut out for them. But I think Liquid's going to be up there. I think. I really think FlyQuest will probably be. I think FlyQuest will probably be my number 3 team. I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give Cloud9 my 2nd spot, and Clutch my 4th. TSM 5th.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's all good.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
Win at Worlds.
You think any North American teams? How many? You think we're gonna get 3 teams in North Worlds again? I mean, we are, but
Yes.
you think it's gonna be the same 3?
I don't know. It's hard to say right now. There's a lot of fresh meat in NA right now, and a lot of people learning how to
I
play with each
want
other.
a bold claim, Cotton.
There is no bold claim.
I want the bold claim.
There is no one.
Who is the North America teams going to Worlds this year?
100 Thieves. That's not what I meant to say. Liquid.
Liquid, okay.
Liquid, and Liquid. It's the only team that deserves to go to Worlds right now.
You're not wrong. So, Liquid goes to Worlds. You think Liquid wins Worlds?
No,
No. Do they get as far as they did last year?
probably.
Does Cloud9 make a miracle run again?
No,
No?
not a fan.
Not a fan. You didn't like Cloud9's miracle run last year?
No.
What? That's good
They had
entertainment.
Jensen.
That's
You know what they
good
don't have this year?
entertainment.
Jensen.
So Team Liquid makes the miracle run this year.
Yeah, well, they already did.
I mean, it's not gonna be as miraculous. It's gonna be like everyone saying that I can't believe the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. It's a miracle run. I can't believe the underdogs made it.
Right.
Like it's not.
Exactly.
They're really
But they're
not
not
an
underdogs.
underdog, but they're there. So
Yeah.
Team Liquid is the underdog, and they're going to Worlds, and they're gonna make it to the championship. That's what I'm pulling from you. You just said that.
Sure thing.
Well, it was too much to cover
Yeah, it was.
in one. Because my friends suck.
Especially at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, my friends suck and didn't reply to me last week, so we couldn't do the preseason. So we had to bundle it all into one.
Oh, well.
So next week, I'm going to do better at watching LCS and watching interviews and not do it all at 4 to 6 a.m. during the week. And then we're going to be able to do just 1 week of reflection and 1 week of preparation,
True.
as opposed to 2 in 2 days. It's only going to get better from here. Faith Age.
Hells yeah.
This series is the CLG right now.
Fate Lifetime.
It's trash, and it's only going to get better. What?
I found something on the web about Does the Cog right now as it's trash and it's only gonna get better. Check it
Please continue,
What?
Sasha.
Hey Siri, does the cog right now... I missed it. Oh no, that's bad. Thank you Siri for your input. That was Siri, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Copyright.
It's great. It's alright, I've been drinking.
Banned from Apple.
So next week, we'll do better. We'll have a name.
Yep.
Maybe. Doubt it.
Maybe.
Maybe
Leaking
Colin will
stuff.
show up. I doubt Colin's going to
True.
show up.
Nah, probably not.
He's working or asleep or playing with his dog. Get your life together, Colin.
He's off today, too.
Was he? I haven't talked
Yes.
to him.
I gave him his Christmas present.
Nice. Maybe they'll be on moving to 9.2 next weekend. Not this weekend, but next. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't know how long it'll take them to get around to moving
Rest in
around to
peace,
a new
Recon.
patch. Recon's gonna be out the game
done.
Ornn's gonna make a bit more of an appearance if this meta stays the same. Aatrox is getting nerfed. Ignite's getting nerfed. I think York might show up again, depending on how the meta shifts. Professionally, he kind of fits into the tank bruiser meta that's going on around right now, the Urgot. And it allows a lot more of a split push with the new capability of the Maiden. But it'll be interesting to see what the changes are that come with that. Maybe we'll be able to talk about it next week. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have to wait another week. But League and stuff.
League and stuff.
League and stuff, and
out.
then nap time and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
And stop.